Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Bader Show. I'm your host. I'm not your episode. I'm your host, Mark Bader. This is episode 475, and man, we are cruising. We're in the final stages of the Division One college wrestling season, and I think an important guest topic for today's show. He's a senior at Cal Baptist University. It's Timothy Cowan, and Timothy. First of all, thanks for joining us. How you doing today?
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You bet. I'm sure as a lot of people know, it got announced this season that Cal Baptist Wrestling is going to be dropped, cut, done. I
Yep.
guess at the end of this season. Tim, you've been on the team, and you posted a video on Instagram
Yes.
earlier this week or over the weekend, maybe, which was a good reason I thought to have you on and hear kind of your side of the story or your perspective. I think is more where it goes. And I guess first of all, let's just like you're a senior. You've been at Cal Baptist for a while. Why'd you go there? What's your experience been like, and what does this program mean to you?
Yeah, so I mean, I would like I said in my video, I wasn't like the highest ranked recruit coming out of high school. I mean, I placed at California State, but other than that, didn't do a ton. And Cal Baptist gave me an opportunity, and I think what really drew me to there is just like the brotherhood that we have on our team. So like one of our team slogans is brotherhood, and like that's a school where I really felt that. Like it's a bunch of guys that like we love wrestling, but we also love each other. We care about each other a lot, and the support from the coaching staff is just incredible. It's a university where I like felt supported. I felt like I'd get a good education, like from a Christian perspective, and then also get to pursue my passion of wrestling with a bunch of other guys that just really love wrestling, love to scrap. So I think that kind of set it apart from the other universities that I visited.
Sure. Let's talk about the program in and out of the wrestling room, but like
Yeah.
culture, right? How would you describe the culture of CBU wrestling?
Going back to brotherhood, man. Like these are guys that like I know they do anything for me. Whether it's like 7 a.m. workout when they have class right after. Like I could text anybody on the team, any weight class, they'll come in, they'll scrap with me. And I think that's something that like really sets us apart is like we're teammates, but we're also like all friends, like off the mat. Like we do everything together. We all live together. I live with 6 other wrestlers here. And most of the guys on the team are like that. And I brotherhood is like the main statement that sticks out to me. It's a family, it's more than a team.
Sure. I looked at your roster. I think it's 26 kids from like 12 or 13 states. So it's not just a
Yep.
bunch of California kids. It's
Yep.
represented coast to coast. And let's talk about your coach. Coach Derek Moore
Yeah.
won a national title himself at a program that then got dropped. But maybe just describe Coach Moore to me and the impact he's had on the team and you.
He's a true leader. He's a great role model. He obviously knows his wrestling, but he cares about us more than just wrestlers. He cares about us as people, as athletes, as students, and his leadership has been amazing throughout my time here. He supported me not only in wrestling but through my other studies. So I do Army RTC here, and Coach Moore did that as well. So he's always giving me like Army tips and tricks as well as wrestling. And he's been like so influential to this team. I think he's been here for a really long time, and he's still in touch with like all of his athletes. We have alumni coming into practice like all the time, just to see Coach Moore and talk to him again. So I think that really like is a testament to his character, and how he's not only focused on wrestling, he's focused on like building relationships with his athletes and setting them up for life. So he's definitely a great leader to have on the team.
Yeah, that's fantastic and important. And I wrestled in college and still have a relationship with my coach.
Yeah.
And I think um, I appreciate it and I cherish it. So let's get into like this season.
Yep.
I know you said they called us in the room and told us, like, was there any indication? Were there any rumors? Did you guys have any I see this coming at all?
No, no idea. So we are supposed to have practice that day, and we got like a group text from Coach Moore, like, "Hey, meet in the wrestling room at 11." So this was over winter break, so we, weren't in school or anything. We were like, "Oh, what was this about?" We thought like, I don't know, we're doing like extra conditioning or something. There's
Yeah, we're in
and
trouble.
so yeah, we go on at 11, um, and Coach Moore's outside talking to administrators, and we are like, "What the heck is going on?" So nobody had any idea. There wasn't our coaches didn't even have any idea. They thought they were going into a budget meeting that morning, and then they were told. So they found out the same like hours before we were told. So there's no indication at all. And I mean, obviously the university was probably planning it for a while. Our current AD actually tried to cut wrestling back in 2019 and wasn't able to. And so it's kind of a shame how just blindsided we all were by it because it truly was just a full on blindside.
Sure. Now, and you mentioned it in the video, but like maybe walk me through the
Yeah.
conversation in the room and after they leave and the conversations you and your teammates are having.
Yeah. So we walk in, we're just kind of waiting because Coach Moore was still outside talking to them. And then Coach Moore walks in with the administrators. Um, and basically, it was the athletic director and the assistant athletic director. And they're like, hey, we're cutting your program. You know, you guys, we're not taking questions at this time, but you're free to enter the transfer portal now. You'll get to finish out the rest of the season. We're going to send you out like how to enter the transfer portal and like frequently asked questions, and then they left. And like, I'm not kidding, that was it. It was like less than 5 minutes, just no reason. We didn't, I think we are all kind of in shock. And afterwards, you know, guys started tearing up. I started tearing up. We were asking coach why. He didn't really know why. Um, and right after they told us, they pretty much released the press statement. So like I was still talking to my buddies, like, what's going on? What we're gonna do? How are we gonna save this? Because that's like right when we went to. It was like, how do we reverse this decision? Because you know we're wrestlers, we're fighters. We don't just give up when a hard circumstance comes. Um, and I already had like family calling me and some of my friends calling me like, hey, why is CB dropping the program? And I was like, I have no idea. I just found out. So that's really all there was to it. It was less than 5 minutes, and then we were just kind of left there like, what are we gonna do now?
How did Coach Moore? He obviously knew before you guys, but earlier that day,
Yeah.
it sounds like. But once the administration came in and said their thing, 5 minutes, sorry, we're out, no questions. Here's FYIs or frequently FAQs. They walk out. Did Coach Moore stand up and address the group, or
Yeah.
was it kind of like a just everybody's mingling?
Yeah, so
But
Coach Moore started talking to us. I've never seen that man cry. Sorry to put you on blast, Coach Moore, but he started breaking down, and then everybody else started breaking down. And so, you
yeah,
know, he was kind of, I mean, he was just as shocked as we were, right? Like he found out that day too, and he basically told us like, "Hey, you know, we're not giving up on you guys. Whatever you need, we're gonna figure this out together. Um, we're gonna still try to save this program, and I'll, you know, give you guys updates as it happens." And then we were kind of just took turns talking through like how we were feeling and all that. So it's a pretty emotional
this
moment.
in a different way. So this is the Bader Show. We started this show because of COVID, because there's no live
Yeah.
events, and what are we going to do? And I don't know. We'll have a talk show. And we'll just get people on to talk. Well, the
Yeah.
first month or two was like everybody telling us their COVID story about how the team came to the room, found out the season was canceled, and it was a very
Yeah.
similar situation where everybody's just kind of like this gloom is a little bit. It's not a far off word. It's not the exact word, but it's there's everybody's in the room feeling this similar to what you're describing,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
mourning
Exactly.
almost. Um, so I guess to that point, I don't know. Do you remember what you said, or do you remember anything that somebody said that stood out to you, or struck a chord, or it's like, ah, wow, that could,
I think the biggest thing was like, you know, we're not giving up. We're not going to fight. We're going to fight. One of our team captains, Cooper
right?
Shore, he transferred from Campbell. So he's already been through it there, right? Like, obviously their program's still around, thankfully, but he was there when he was told his program was being cut at Campbell. And then, you know, he came here and had the exact same thing happen. So I could tell he was feeling it a lot, but he said some words of encouragement like, you know, I've been through this. It sucks, and we're gonna be here for each other, and we're gonna do everything we can to save the program. And I think he was a big leader in that moment. That he kind of took the floor and started talking a lot.
That's cool. When somebody kind of steps up in it. I guess if he's a captain, that there's a reason why.
Yeah.
Um, how long do you remember? How long do you think you guys hung out in the room and talked and spent some time together? Then. that day,
Yeah,
that
probably about
afternoon,
an hour,
morning, maybe?
I would say. We kind of all individually talked to coaches, talked to each other. Coaches addressed us, and then they had to go take care of things. And some of our assistants stuck around to talk with us, like Noah Hardy and Eric Morrill and Mark Munoz were all there. Um, and I we were just hanging out together for an hour, and then all came back to our living areas together and kept hanging out and talking to family and just I think the biggest thing that we jumped to was like how can we reverse this decision, right? Like, we all went to like how do we fix this problem? Um
Mhm.
which is still a conversation that hasn't happened with administration is like what solutions have been worked through? How do we fix this problem? They haven't on all of that. They haven't talked to our alumni. They haven't really talked to the coaches on, potential solutions other than cutting a program. Um, and it feels like we're the only ones like trying to do that. And I guess my question is like, why would you go into athletic administration if like, you know, your solution to problems is cutting programs? Like that just doesn't make sense to me. And I think it doesn't make sense to a lot of us because obviously none of us are in that position and we don't understand that job, but it it seems like an easy way out, other than coming up with solutions, and so we hung out for a while, and we're just trying to come up with solutions.
What solutions did you come up or have you come up with? Because I think there's a few ways to donate. I don't know if this is stuff you guys or the alumni got involved, or if it was like this collective thing. But maybe what are some of the solutions you guys are working on?
Yeah, so the alumni have been huge in everything. I don't know if you've seen the Keep CBU Wrestling like social media pages, but they're head running all that. Um, the biggest thing is fundraising. If you go to keepcbwrestling.com, you can make a donation or make a pledge to fundraise for the program. Because, but once again, the school hasn't really like gone into much detail. Um, Usually it's budget issues is the problem, and if it is a budget issue, like we want the ability to fundraise. I think we've fundraised over like $1 million already.
Yep.
Obviously, we need more. And it's kind of hard to do that with how the school is like reacting to us. Like with the inside out singlets and the white singlets and the Keep CB wrestling shirts. Like the whole goal of those is just like raise awareness and direct people to like realize like, hey, we need to save this wrestling program. And you can do that on keepcbwrestling.com. But they're like fighting back against that, and they're not really giving us a seat at the table. And they're also making it difficult for our coaches because under their contracts, they're not allowed to like say anything in the name of like keeping the program like publicly, right? They can't, do what I'm doing right now and go on a show with you to talk about it. Otherwise, they could lose their jobs like instantly. So their hands are kind of tied and their voices are kind of silent. So it's fallen on the athletes and the alumni to fight this battle. So fundraising is
Yeah.
the biggest thing right now.
Yeah, and that's Keep CBU Wrestling, or is that right?
Yeah,
I'm sure you could just
keepcbwrestling.com.
Google it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and you can buy
Excellent.
a shirt
And
there that
okay,
goes towards the program, and yeah.
the white singlets, the inside out, the t-shirts. When did this start? How did it get going? And obviously there were some road bumps,
Yeah. So
speed bumps.
after our program was cut, our next duel was against West Virginia, which was probably about 10 days after the program was cut. And we came together as a team, and we kind of looked at like what Stanford did to keep their program, and the infamous all black singlet, and we're like, okay, like clearly that worked. Like it brought attention to the program, and it got people like going for keep Stanford wrestling. So we're like, okay, let's model that. Let's do that. So this was the athletes coming together to make this decision for our West Virginia duel. Obviously, we didn't have time to order singlets, but we were like, well, we can wear our singlets inside out. Like, and the point of that, like, wasn't to be disrespectful towards CBU, which is, I think, kind of how they viewed it. But it was more so to be like, hey, we don't feel supported by the school and we want to bring awareness. And we want people to know that we're fighting for this movement. And we're fighting for our program. And so after we did that is when we got that written statement like, hey, you guys can't wear your singlets inside out anymore. Otherwise, you won't be able to compete. And like I said, we didn't know if that meant like, hey, we're not going to be able to compete, in a match, or if we won't be able to compete for the rest of the season. But our coach was given written guidance that he had to pull us off the mat if our singlets were inside out, and then if he didn't, he'd lose his job. So it's like it's
Yeah.
putting him in a
Yeah, his
tough
hands are
spot.
tied.
Yeah, and putting us in a tough spot too, because it's like, okay, we don't want to like come across as like, disrespectful to the school, but we do want our voices to be heard, and we want people to know that we're fighting for this program. And so we wrote the athletic administration a letter, like kind of explaining why we did what we did, what the intent was to it. Got no response for that. So it's like we're making these decisions, and trying to stand up for ourselves in respectful ways, and just hearing nothing in return, and only getting like shut down in return it's pretty frustrating.
So you had the inside out singlets, then Coach Morris, or
Yeah.
you guys are all told, can't do that anymore. Then what? Then you
Yep.
guys were like, all right, we'll just go get blank singlets?
Yeah, so we wrestled a lot of duels just with our CBU singlets because at that point we were like, look, we just want to
Yeah.
wrestle. We're not gonna not wrestle because that's what we love to do, and we can keep spreading awareness by wrestling. And so we got these, keep CBU wrestling shirts. We were wearing those at our duels and for our warm ups, and we weren't told we couldn't wear them, so we kept wearing them. And for our last senior night duel, we got just blank white singlets. They had CBU like in small print at the leg, because I think by like NCAA guidelines, the school logo does have to be on the uniform. So we made sure it
Right.
followed that. And then Coach Moore obviously has to tell us that we can't wear them. But we were like, Coach, we're gonna wear them. And administration found out, and that's everything that video that was taken that I'm sure you've seen online. That was the conversation they were having with us like 10 minutes before the duel. Um, and so we decided again to just wear our singlets normal because we love wrestling, we want to wrestle, but the blank white singlets were kind of supposed to be modeling what Stanford did with the blank black, but it was
Yeah.
only for that one.
Uh, Looking back, do you wish you wouldn't have told Coach Moore you're going to do this and just showed up?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, we don't want to put him in a tough spot, right? We
Yeah,
want him
yeah, of
around for Big 12s and nationals, so we
course.
we don't want to get him fired.
No,
But
that's
he's been
fair.
nothing but supportive to us. So
Yeah. How did you feel? What do you like that video and that meeting where the administration came in and
yeah,
said, ultimatum? Okay, there's already emotions when you're getting ready
yeah,
to wrestle in a match, right? Nerves and whatever
mhm,
you like. There's physical feelings and emotions, and now you're already I don't know, just thinking of like the emotion of your last home duel, the emotion of not coming back next year, and then this conversation happens. Maybe just take me through your perspective and how it made you feel.
yeah. I mean, I felt kind of, I think shocked again is the right word. Like didn't know what to say because it felt like everything we were trying to say was being shut down. And I understand that our athletic director is just doing his job. But I think what was hurting most of us is like how we were being talked to. It wasn't like a adult to adult conversation. It kind of felt like we were like children being punished in a way. Like when our heavyweight was like midway through asking a question when he just got like cut off, and it was like he didn't even get to finish his question. Um, so I think a lot of us were really upset and just didn't know how to vocalize it. I think we did a really good job as a team, like staying calm in the moment. And showing restraint in that way. We have a lot of mature individuals on this team, and I think that is a testament to our coaching staff and just how the way we do things here. Um, but it was hurtful because it's like we're representing a Christian university, and I'm a Christian, and those are values I strongly believe in, and it didn't feel like those values were being upheld. And so, like the mission of CBU is like make disciples of all nations, have people live their purpose. And it feels like that mission statement isn't being fulfilled with A, the fact that they're cutting the program, and B, the way they're doing it. Um, and I think that's hurtful to a lot of us. And we don't really know how to react sometimes because like we said, that voice in the video that was like, we just want to have a voice, that was Cooper Shore again. And I think he summed it up perfectly. Like we just want to have a voice. We want to be heard. We want to do what we can to save this program, and you're not letting us even like self fundraise to do that, which doesn't make sense to me. So I think it was just a lot of shock and a lot of hurt in the moment.
I can only imagine. Do you know if you or do you think or know that was anybody else? Do you know if anybody could seriously consider? Everybody wrestled, right? But did anybody
Yeah,
think about or consider being like, "F it, fine, I won't wrestle."
yeah,
Not that I
absolutely.
necessarily because yeah,
Yeah, I mean, we had 5 minutes to discuss it as a team, and a lot of the guys in the team were like, "Man, I just want to wear this white singlet, and what happens happens," you know. But at the end of the day, we had some guys that just really wanted to wrestle, and we didn't want to take away their opportunity by walking out in a white singlet and them just calling the duel. So the guys that wanted to wear the white, we just decided, hey, we're going to support the guys that want to wrestle and we're going to let them wrestle. So I think that goes back to like that brotherhood aspect I was talking about. We have guys on the team that they just really they love wrestling and they want to wrestle no matter what. And the guys that wanted to wear the white singlets, decided like, hey, we're going to support our guys that want to wrestle and give them the chance to wrestle. So,
that's cool.
but
That
yeah, it
that
was definitely ran through everybody's heads, I'd say.
what how, I mean, without giving me I don't know details if you want, but like yeah, give me what was that 5 minutes conversation like with you guys?
Yeah, it was hard. We kind of talking through the pros and cons of changing and not changing. I don't think we saw coming that they wouldn't let us wear the CBU shirts anymore, which happened after the duel. Um, but it was kind of everybody that was going to wrestle just kind of took turns saying how they felt about it, what they wanted to do. Um, and ultimately we decided to wrestle because there was a big crowd there, and we were like, these people are here to support us, and we want to put on a show for them. And I think it kind of, it added fuel to the fire. We showed out at that duel. I think everybody wrestled really well. Kind of took out the frustration out on the mat, is one way to put it. And I think that was the biggest thing we talked about. Was like, hey, this is happening, um, but let's focus on the task at hand and let's go practice our craft and put on a show for the people that are here and just use this as motivation.
Yeah, kudos to you guys for sticking around, like you said, the packed gym and people wanted to see us and the fact that you went out and wrestled really well, like good for you guys. I'm glad you had that opportunity, that moment to kind of to do that at the last home duel. Um, so when did they come back and say keep CBU wrestling t-shirts or sweats? Like, but before they
Yeah.
said that's okay, or maybe didn't have an opinion on it, right?
Yeah, so the duel's on a Saturday. We got that guidance on a Tuesday, and nothing that we've been told has been like a face-to-face interaction. It's all been Coach Moore gets called into a meeting. They issue him a written statement. He has to read it back to us. So that Tuesday was when he came back and was like, the school has decided you guys can't wear the Keep CBU Wrestling shirts, hoodies, or sweatpants when you're traveling or competing. We can't engage you with the crowd in any way to promote CBU Wrestling. So, like, we've been holding up the shirts after we win to kind of get the crowd going, like, yeah, keep CBU Wrestling. And so we can't do any of that anymore. And they're sending like 4 administrators to Big 12s with us to make sure we don't. And it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, in that meeting we had, they said when Cooper said we want to have a voice, they responded with, "We're letting you have a voice. You have the shirts," which is okay, fair point, I guess. But now you're taking that away. Like, it really does feel like we're being silenced. And like I said, they haven't had a seat with any alumni, the coaches, us, even though we've asked for it to like talk through potential solutions. They've cited like fundraising and Title IX as options, but little inside scoop here when it comes to Title IX, they're cutting the men's swim and dive team, but the women's dive team, their coaches' contracts expire this year, and they're not renewing them. So they're not bringing that team back either, even though they're not like cutting it like publicly. They're just not bringing back the team because they're not renewing the coaches' contracts. So I've talked to some divers to get that information, and so it just feels like they're like hiding stuff or there's some like shady stuff going on in the background, and it's like, well, I mean, my question to the CBU's admin is like, why won't you let us sit and talk through this? Why aren't you being transparent? And like our alumni want to have a conversation. Like, we're not trying to fight the school. We just want to have a conversation. We want to try to work through potential solutions. And the reasoning, like if it's funding, let us fundraise. Give us time to fundraise. Extend. Let the young guys on the team finish their careers here and give us time to fundraise in that time. And if it's Title IX, why is women's dive being getting rid of? Like that doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
So
it feels like it feels like they just want this to go away. They
yeah,
want to be done with it. They
exactly
want
how
it to
it
go
feels.
away because we don't want you wearing these shirts. We don't want you holding them up to the crowd. It's like,
Yep.
man. And the fact that they said, we're allowing you to have a voice. You can have the shirts. And then they're like, actually,
Psych. Yeah.
no. Yeah, they just don't want to deal with it.
Yeah. And I think that's what inspired me to make that video I posted to talk about it. Cause, I've been a proponent of like, hey, let's just wrestle. Let's use our voices with the shirts. Let's, try to keep spreading this online. And when they took away the shirts, I mean, I was upset. I was really upset. And it's like they're not bringing any harm to the school. Like we love wrestling. We're not going to stop fighting, and we want to keep our program. And like I said, this is like a great way for us to spread the message in a positive way. I feel because it shows that we stand with the university. We stand with wrestling. Like we want to keep going to CBU. We don't want to have to transfer. We chose this school for a
Yeah.
reason. Um, and so I think the biggest thing right now, like the public can do to support us is rock these shirts with us. And like I said, go to keepcbwrestling.com and donate or make a pledge there. Because as a wrestling community, we have to keep fighting for these programs because I mean so many have been cut. I mean, there's only what, like 70 something Division 1 programs in the country.
Yeah, we're getting close to 70, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's horrible to see because it takes opportunities away from guys. And I know we're a smaller school, but the small schools are important for wrestling too. Those breakout small school stories are awesome. We all love to see them, and like the more schools we have, the more competition we have, and the better wrestling we get. And I think as a wrestling community, it's huge to stand with these schools that are fighting these battles.
It almost seems like CBU's the school, not the team, is their effort to keep this so quiet has
Yeah.
actually made it louder.
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
it's brought more
Absolutely.
attention.
Yeah.
Guy just turned on his cell phone in a meeting, and holy cow, it
I know.
rocked a
Yeah,
lot
when
of.
that video got leaked, it was I mean, it was all over Twitter, it was all over Instagram, like and again, they haven't said anything to us. They just choose to remain silent, and it's frustrating, you know? I mean, we'll see how this Big 12
Yeah,
trip goes with the admins there. It'll be interesting to interesting to say the
I
least.
thought one thing was cool. Was it California Coby Merrill? I think he won a
Yes.
California state title, held his shirt up.
Yep.
Just like that's great,
Yeah.
right? That's awareness, and I don't think he's going. Oh, obviously they're going to cut the program. He's definitely not
Yeah.
going to go there, but he's supporting California wrestling, and I thought that was really cool.
I thought it was awesome
Um,
too, and I think it speaks to the legacy of CBU too, because his coaches are CBU alum. Right? Like the impact that CBU wrestling alumni have in California is huge.
yeah,
We're the only D1 program in SoCal, and Coby Merrill's an amazing wrestler, and to have his support is awesome. And it like he's had his life impacted by wrestlers that went to CBU. So I think it just goes to show how important this program is.
sure. And you guys have the Big 12s coming up, and you're not allowed to wear the gear, and
Yep.
I would imagine you guys won't, but it's also the for some guys, it's the last event. So maybe if
Yeah.
somebody wrestles their last match and the shirt comes on, and what are you gonna do?
Yeah. We'll see what happens. I don't
I'm
know.
not telling you to break the rules, but that's not a rule. That's just what they're saying. I guess that's a rule
Yeah. I
within your
mean, will they
team, but
try to run
or
out there and pull it off?
uh,
We'll see.
I wouldn't be a good look. Or
Yeah.
but maybe there's the parents are wearing them, right? Maybe there's
Yeah.
fans. I'm sure there's ways that we can see. And to me, it's like it'd be cool to see people in the stands with the shirts. It'd be cool to see posters around the
Oh,
arena that
absolutely.
say "Keep CBU Wrestling" and just like
Absolutely.
as a kind of a, oh, you wanted us to shut up? Okay, well now we're gonna be loud.
Yep. Yeah, there's even banners popping up around here off the freeway exit. There's a Keep CBU Wrestling banner up there and right by the school, and I've seen them pop up
Really?
around the school as well. Yeah, the community's behind us. I think the community's there. Um, we just want the school to sit down with us and talk and like actually figure this out. not just take the easy way out and cut programs and expect it to just happen easily and silenced.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Not with you guys. And I like the noise you're making, and like I guess for you looking ahead, and maybe now looking ahead, how is it, if at all, impacted your wrestling, your competition, the way your season's gone?
I think it's given us something to fight for. It feels like every practice, we're kind of talking about the latest with keeping the program. And
Sure.
I think it's helped us just leave it all out there. It's definitely hard to manage, a tough wrestling season and also all this other stuff going on. And for the younger guys, I'm sure it's hard because they got to look at places to transfer to, as well, just in case. And it definitely has added more stress. But I think we're doing a good job of like funneling that into like just enjoying wrestling and not being afraid, like we got nothing left to lose anymore. Like it's not like they can cut our program again. So, might as well leave it all out there. And I think it's definitely brought us even closer as a team because, we appreciate the moments that we have as a team even more than we did before.
Yeah. So you're going to finish. You're going to graduate from Cal Baptist University, and forever will be a CBU grad who's on the wrestling team. What's your opinion of Cal Baptist University? Has it changed, or is it just your opinion maybe of these athletic administration have changed, or are you going to look back and have a bad taste at the university or the athletic department, or none of it? Or I'm just curious how you kind of view CBU overall now, and or
It's
separate from the athletic.
Yeah, it's a hard question to answer. Obviously, my view of the athletic department is a little tainted, and it hurts, right? But when it comes to like the students here at CBU and the support of the professors and other administrators, it's been great, right? Like our professors here are very understanding and they're great people, and the students that go here are great people. Um, so from that aspect, like I've loved my time at CBU, and I think I'm gonna look back on it positively. Um, but there's also the side that like it hurts looking back, like knowing I was on a wrestling team that could no longer exist anymore, right? And I won't have a spot to go back to as a wrestling alumni. Um, so it's conflicting, I guess, is my view. Yeah.
Sure. How about this? You're a smart young man. You're about to graduate. I have no doubt you're going to go on and get a good job, make a lot of money. When they come knocking on your door for alumni support and donation,
Oh yeah.
are they going to get it?
No. Yeah. No. Absolutely not.
That's where my head was going. Like
Yeah.
because I think you met your fiance or wife there, and I'm sure you've made a bunch of friends and you had a great experience. But now when you look
Yeah.
back, it's bad taste in your
Yeah.
mouth.
Yeah, like I've been really involved in school here. I mean, I work at our school's gym, on the wrestling team, obviously, and I do Army RTC here. All right, so CBU's helped set me up for my future Army career. Met my wife here, but so I've obviously like had some great memories here. But yeah, like you said, if the university just asked for funds, it'd be a no.
Sure. Do you walk into practice now that it's a few days till conference, and then 2 more weeks for anybody that beyond that? d- Take a deep breath, look around, take in the sights and smells and everything
Oh,
at all, or
absolutely.
you I mean, because I know you got a task ahead too, but there's kind of bittersweet timing going
Yeah,
on.
it is bittersweet. I think I like to get to practice early, and I think I have been soaking it up a little bit more than I have in the past. You know, and as a senior, that's also a part of it, right? Like wrestling career is coming to a close, but it's definitely sad to think about the possibility that no one else will get to wrestle in this room and experience the amazing joys of wrestling that I've gotten to experience here. So
For sure. It's amazing sport. I guess just I don't know, on a personal note, right? What's the plan
yeah,
for you beyond college? Do you have a plan? Do you looking to get a certain job, or you want to go more school, or where you at?
yeah. So like I said, I'll be going in the army. So I did Army RTC here. I'll
Right.
graduate and commission as a second lieutenant right after I graduate. So I'll be in the infantry, second lieutenant infantry officer.
So what does that mean? Are you like you're not out in combat duty, like, or are you out in like actual fighting?
Well, I mean, eventually, possibly.
Sure.
But our
Yeah.
ROTC is just like so you it's part of like my classes and things like that, and it prepares you
Right.
to be an army officer. So they help pay for my school, and then once I graduate, I owe them time in the military. So
That's when it is. Okay.
yeah,
So eventually. All right.
well, so yeah,
Well,
like
that's awesome, man.
yeah.
Now go ahead. I want to hear more about that.
Oh yeah, yeah. So it's like you commission as an officer right after you graduate. It's kind of like the academies, like how they
Mhm.
have to go in the military right after they graduate. It's like the same thing, but through universities,
Okay.
like how the
Exciting.
service academies.
Exciting,
Yeah.
man. So where is the Big 12s?
It's in
Is it in
Tulsa,
Tulsa?
Oklahoma. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, at the BOK Center where they had
Yep.
nationals a few years ago, national duels this year. Okay, well, we're gonna be watching, man, and we'll be keeping an eye on you and the Cal Baptist wrestlers, and be sure to hopefully see some shirts in the crowd.
Oh yeah.
Make obviously put out some clips from this podcast onto social media, and hopefully, get some support and get people who want to do what they can to help you guys because
Yeah, and we appreciate that. We need the
need it.
community to back us. That's the biggest thing is
Yeah.
we need the community. We want to keep spreading awareness of this message.
Cool. Well, it's keepcbulwrestling.com. You can make a
Yep.
donation, buy a shirt. Tim, I guess anything else for us before we let you move on with the day and get to practice?
I really appreciate you guys taking the time to do this, and it means a lot. Thank you. All
Awesome, man. You bet. Best of luck and take care.
right. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Tim. All right, folks, that's going to do it for today's show. I appreciate you tuning in, and hopefully you can support CBU Wrestling while they're still around. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much. Enjoy conference weekend. Bye bye.